it keeps screwing up. And if this turns off, I'm gonna have no clue. I'm gonna have no clue if this turns off. And if it does, I'm gonna be very upset. So I stopped recording. No? Okay. Hopefully I can finally get started on this freaking intro.
Ciao. Anyways, so
I was scrolling on the internet, right? It's hot in here. Is it hot, you guys? It's really hot. I'm not even getting to the point. I keep seeing prom dress videos and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a senior and I have a prom to go to. I have been planning on making my own dress for a couple of months now. I decided to check my calendar because I was like, oh, prom is in May. I have some time. Turns out prom isn't in May. Turns out prom is April. I don't have a dress. I don't have a ticket. I don't know what I'm doing to my hair. I don't know what I'm doing to my nails. I don't know what shoes I'm gonna wear. I don't even know how I'm gonna get there. I don't have a date. I'm ready for prom, guys. I'm ready. So in this video is gonna be me making my prom dress from start to finish. I did a little bit of planning on my laptop. So there's this website called Milanote. This isn't sponsored. Who do I look like getting sponsored? It kind of helps you put all your ideas in one place. Like, my mind is really scattered when I make stuff. So Milanote really helps me get everything out of my brain and onto a page so that I don't have to think about it. So far, this is what I've got going on for my prom dress planning, because that's all I have so far is a plan. Or no, I don't even have a plan. A couple ideas here and there that I'm like, I kind of like that. I might go with that. I'm talking so much. Let me show you the fabric I have. Here is what we're working with. This is the bottom half of my sister's prom dress from 3 years ago. Definitely just use this for like structure. This is from my original plan, which I'm not even gonna bother explaining. If I could incorporate this in some way, it'd be cool, but I haven't quite thought any of this through yet. I have this black satin, and I have a lot of it. I think that this would be the bottom of the dress. When I saw this picture, I went out and I bought a matte and more stiff black fabric from Joann's, which is shutting down. I'm very upset. So I ran back to This might be bad. I'm comparing it to the satin and it looks bad next to each other. Oh my god! See, I was gonna have this be the bodice and then have this be the skirt, but they're such different shades of black that it's not gonna work. It was fun knowing you guys. It was nice. It was really nice. Okay, whatever. I guess we're using this for a different project. And I guess that this is all we have to work with. It's not the worst case scenario. I have plenty of it. I really hope this works because I'm not buying a prom dress. Anyways, so remember my previous idea where I was like, maybe I should add white to it. Here's the white and here's what it looks like next to the black. It's crazy because as I'm making this, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is insane. And I only have a month left. I think I've come up with a design and a game plan. I never claimed that I could draw. And this is kind of a halfway joke. I'm not being too serious. When I make clothes, I don't sketch because I can't. But in this case, because I have no clue what I'm doing, I did have to doodle a little bit to get the ideas out. Just so you know, it doesn't end up looking anything like this. We can take a deep breath because I did crash out just a little bit. Oh my god! Buying a prom dress! Freaking intro! We got these. Let's go. So I just realized that these were printed incorrectly, which means I have 20 pages of useless pattern paper. I can tell that it's not correct because this circle doesn't finish itself and the letters don't make any sense. So I have to go back and reprint all of it. You know, you get the gist. Here's what it looks like taped together. And by the way, this isn't really a tutorial because I don't know what I'm doing. You know, maybe this can inspire you to make your own prom dress. Okay, everything is done being taped together, so now it's time to cut them out. But before I do that, I need to take my measurements to know which line I'm actually cutting on. Now that we have all the pattern pieces cut out, I'm actually going to start on altering them because I found the corset that's closest to the idea I had, but it's not exact. So I'm tracing all the pattern pieces onto this brown paper, and then I'm adding a little less than an inch of space at the top and bottom. And I'm going to do that to all the pieces just so that I can make it a little bit longer. And then when I'm done with that, then I can cut this out and then trace it on that fabric. So like this is what it looks like. I'm just using a pencil. Now I need to add the seam allowance to the side. So this ruler is super helpful because it's see-through. So I just like line it up with the line and then I just trace. And then I have a seam allowance. See? Easy peasy. Doesn't quite fit at the top, but that's fine. What I'm gonna do is take in this side seam, and then look at that. Fits better already. This is the side seam, and this is where it originally was, and it was way too big. So I took my measurements. No, I didn't. I'm lying. Let me start over. This is just what I did to take it in a little bit. It may still be too big, but you gotta try it on to figure it out. Okay, so if you remember what it looked like a second ago, which was a second ago for you, but it like 5 hours ago for me, it definitely looks so much better. Okay, I know I said I was only gonna do one mock-up, but then I realized that the one I made first was too big. So I made another one, and this one is almost too small, but it makes me snatch, so I'm going with this one. I had to ask myself, comfort, body tea. I'm gonna go ahead and order some iron-on interfacing because I need to give the satin layer some structure. So let's see, I'm just gonna go ahead and add that to cart. Whoa, oh my gosh, Amazon shipping has gotten so fast. So I've never actually used this iron-on interfacing before. I've got some of the fabric. I'm gonna cut a test piece and I'm going to test it on the iron-on interfacing so I can make sure that my plan works. And if it doesn't, then we have a really big problem. Wait, I should actually really probably look up some instructions. I don't know if you're supposed to use steam. Wow. Me surprised when something works like it's advertised to work. I've got all my pattern pieces here. So what I'm gonna do is trace all my pattern pieces onto this, cut those out, and then iron them to the silk. Satin. I ain't got silk money. Snip, snip. You probably can't even see what I'm doing, can you? Whoops. I am just going to use my ruler to hold down the pattern piece so it's not slipping and sliding around while I'm tracing. And then I just trace it, guys. It's really easy, actually. You know what? I don't know if this is gonna work. I might need to use a pen. I don't know what makes me think I'm qualified to tell you guys how to do stuff because I have no clue. Actually, I never claimed to be qualified. So yeah, like you could just mark it like that with like the little dots and then just connect the dots because the seam allowance doesn't have to be super neat. This is my pattern piece number 1, so I'm labeling it number 1 at the bottom. And because I need to do 2 of each and I want to make sure I know which is which side, I'm going to trace this one and I'm going to mark it 1 at the top instead of the bottom just so I know which is which. I'm just going to cut a piece of fabric that's like roughly around the same size. Oh crap, I'm about to cut my blanket. Okay, you know what? I can't do this with the camera in my hand. You're not supposed to use steam on iron-on interfacing, so good thing I looked that up. I really hope this is the right side. Oops, oops, oops. Messing things up. Nice. This is really convenient. I love when things go right. First, I have to cut around it, but I'm not gonna film that, which is weird because I'm filming this, which means absolutely nothing to anybody. So I got all of the pattern pieces cut out and it's time to pin them and sew them together, which is really scary for reasons I can't quite pin. Get it? Pin. Oh, brother. So I got it pinned all the way through and it goes through both the lines on both sides. So instead of pressing the seams open with an iron like this, I'm just sewing on the boning channels early and it presses the seam itself. Writing was driving me crazy, so I just took a lighter to the edge of all of these and I'm gonna do that to the rest of these. I probably should have done this before I sewed everything together, but I don't think ahead. I finally finished sewing. Open. Don't mind these yellow things. I just needed to try it on without actually poking holes in the thing yet. The next thing I need to do is make the lining. I figured I would use this white fabric for the lining. I am planning on using this for a bow on the outside of the dress, and I have a whole lot of it, so I gotta use it for something. So I was about to make the lining, and then I realized I can't trace on it because it's too, I don't know. And so I ordered a much thinner interfacing. So I'm going to trace the pattern pieces onto this and then I'm going to cut them out and then I'm going to iron it onto the lining and then I'm going to sew the lining together and then I'm going to sew the lining to the official outside part and then we're finally going to be done and then I can start on the skirt. So I got done with a lot of things. I did a lot of things off camera. So now we've got a nice double-sided looking thing here. So I finished the lining, I finished putting in the boning, and I finished doing the grommets, right? And I'm like, this is the moment of truth. Finally time to see what this looks like on. I'm so excited. I put it on and something's off. That is not cool. Guys, oh my God. I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
It's honestly tragic.
I feel like I sound crazy because you're probably looking at this like, what's the problem? But you can tell what I'm talking about. And on top of it all, your girl can't breathe. So at the end of the day, what I gather from this is that I should have gone a size bigger. It's easier to take things down a notch, but you can't add on. So that's our lesson for today. I had to ask myself, comfort, body cheat. It took me like 2 days to figure out a solution for this. It wasn't that big of a deal, but honestly, I've spent so long on this already that I was just so upset that it wasn't going to turn out exactly how I wanted to. So I am officially done with the top, thank goodness. I have like way more of this than I remember buying. Way more. Like you could do a magic trick with this thing. I have no clue what I'm going to do for the bottom. I'm going to have to watch a couple of YouTube tutorials on how to drape a skirt because I have no clue what I'm doing. I've never done this before. So I think I settled on this design to drape. So now I have to figure out how I'm actually gonna sew this together. I also wanted to add like a white bow or some sort of white detail somewhere on the dress. I think I said I was gonna put it on the back. Okay guys, it's actually time to start cutting the fabric. I hate cutting fabric because if I mess it up, there's no going back. So just do it, just do it. Oh, lovely, my scissors are dull. Okay, I pulled out the nice scissors for this one. So I'm just gonna go ahead, cut straight across from there to this corner right here, and then you'll see it when it's done. Okay, I did it. I'm literally sweating so bad. Obviously, I'm gonna refine the shape a little bit, but I was just too scared to cut it all the way because look, it was almost already too short. I'm about to start freaking out for a second because I stupidly used pen to trace out the first couple pieces, and once I realized it was literally all over my hands, I switched to pencil. I hadn't known that it was gonna bleed through. I would have never done that, and I am so upset. Look at all of the pen that's coming off. This is actual nightmare fuel. Look at all the blue that's coming off. Look at all this. This is ridiculous. Oh, this looks dingy. If no one told you, don't use pen to trace your pattern. Because guess what? Nobody told me. Or maybe it's just common sense and I'm an idiot. I don't know if you can see that. It's still blue, but whatever. Okay, so this is the back so far. Had to cut this little slit so I could actually get in and out of the dress. I keep random pieces of clothing that I cut apart just in case I need it for later. And luckily I have this little zipper, which I think should work just fine. I would like today to be the last day that I work on this prom dress. I've been having some issues with the closure in the back, but I've ultimately decided to just throw a bow on the back and cover up any mess, so I'm not really gonna worry about it too much. I wrote down everything that there's left to do on the dress, which is, spoiler alert, I didn't finish it in a day. But here's the list of everything that there was left to do. Without further ado, cue the music. Dang it. I did it. Before I reveal the dress, there's a couple of things I want to say. If it felt like this video was all over the place, that's because this project was all over the place. At no point when making this dress did I have any idea what I was going to do next. Planning is so important, and I just did a very bad job at it. And no, that sketch does not count as a plan. I only started sewing last July, and it's not easy to find an all-inclusive video that tells you everything you need to know about making garments. If I were to make this dress again, I would do literally everything differently. This is why mock-ups are really important. A lot of the mistakes I made could have been avoided if I did a full mock-up instead of just doing the bodice. I really just didn't have time for that. I only had a month. But at the end of the day, a lot of the things that bug me about this dress are things that nobody's gonna see or notice. If you take anything away from this video, let it be that if I can do it, literally anybody can do it. Ooh, it took me 4 long weeks to complete this dress. And I can't begin to explain how happy I am to be done. You know what this dress makes me want to do? This is incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would like to thank the Academy. Looking out and seeing all of your smiling faces makes it all worth it. And it's not about the award. It's not about the trophy. It's about the journey. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video because I sure enjoyed making it.